All right, Emilio, let's just dive right into it. What's one of the biggest anxieties you've heard from beginner Spanish learners when they imagine themselves in a Spanish-speaking city?
Oh, without a doubt, it's getting lost. Or, more specifically, not being able to ask for directions, and then, even worse, not understanding the answer. It's that double whammy of confusion, like you're already in an unfamiliar place, and now you can't even communicate where you want to go. It's truly a nightmare for many.
Absolutely, that's so real. I've been there myself, especially in my early days. You're standing on a corner with Google Maps draining your battery, and you just wish you could confidently ask a local for help. But then the panic sets in. What if they speak too fast? What if I use the wrong verb?
Exactly. And it's not just directions, right? It's understanding the public transport system, figuring out how to buy a ticket, or even just recognizing a landmark someone points out to you. It's a whole immersive experience that can feel overwhelming.
It really is. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be. We're going to break down some super practical phrases and strategies today that will make navigating any Spanish-speaking city not just manageable, but actually enjoyable. The goal is to shift from, oh no, I'm lost, to aha, an opportunity to practice.
I love that shift in mindset. So, where do we even begin? What's the absolute first thing someone should have in their linguistic toolkit when they step off the plane?
Okay, foundation first. Politeness. Before you even think about where's the bathroom, you need hello and excuse me. So hola for hello, and disculpe or perdón if you're trying to get someone's attention. Think of disculpe as a bit more formal, like excuse me sir ma'am, while perdón can be a general pardon me.
Got it. So, disculpe, ¿dónde está sounds a lot better than just jumping in with the question, right?
Infinitely better. It shows respect and opens the door for a much more positive interaction. People are almost always willing to help a polite tourist, especially one trying their best in the local language. Now, let's get to the core asking where is something. The most common phrase you'll use is ¿dónde está?, followed by the place you're looking for.
Simple enough. So, ¿dónde está la plaza mayor? Or, ¿dónde está el baño?
Exactly! You've got it. And if you want to be a little more specific, like, how do I get to, you can say ¿cómo llego a? So, ¿cómo llego a la estación de tren? How do I get to the train station? That implies a path, a journey, which is often what you're really asking.
Okay, ¿dónde está for where is, and cómo llego a for how do I get to? That's a solid start. But then, the response. That's where I usually hit a wall. All those rapid-fire directions, turn left, go straight.
I hear you. This is where active listening and knowing a few key directional words come in. Let's break down the most common ones. You'll hear todo recto, or siga recto for go straight ahead. A la derecha is to the right, and a la izquierda is to the left. Those three are non-negotiables. You have to nail those down.
Todo recto, a la derecha, a la izquierda. Got it. I'm imagining myself pointing and saying them in my head right now. What about things like at the corner or cross the street?
Excellent questions. For at the corner, you'll usually hear en la esquina, and cross the street is cruzar la calle. Sometimes they might say pasar something, meaning pass by or go past something. So pase el parque would mean go past the park.
Okay, that's really helpful. So, if someone says, disculpe, siga todo recto, cruce dos calles, y luego a la izquierda en la esquina, I'd understand, excuse me, go straight, cross two streets and then left at the corner. That's a huge win.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask them to repeat it. You can say puede repetir por favor. Can you repeat please? Or más despacio por favor. Slower please. Most people are happy to slow down if you ask politely. Remember, they appreciate the effort.
That's a great tip. I think the fear of looking stupid sometimes stops people from asking for clarification, but really, it's just part of the learning process.
Totally. It shows you're engaged. Now let's talk landmarks, because people often use them as reference points. You need to know some common ones. Think about what you see in a typical city. La iglesia, the church, el ayuntamiento, city hall, el parque, the park, el museo, the museum, la plaza, the square, el mercado, the market, even el banco, the bank, or la farmacia, the pharmacy can be helpful.
Oh, that's smart. So, they might say go straight until you see the church, then turn right. Having those nouns in my head makes understanding the directions much easier.
Precisely. It's all about building that contextual vocabulary. And sometimes, you might just need to confirm if something is nearby. For that, ¿hay una plaza cerca de aquí? Is there a place near here? Is incredibly useful. For example, ¿hay una parada de autobús cerca de aquí? Is there a bus stop near here?
Okay, so we've got asking for directions and understanding them with key directional words and landmarks. What about getting around once we know where we're going? Transportation vocabulary.
Perfect segue. Let's start with buses. They're often the backbone of public transport in many cities. You'll need el autobús, the bus, and la parada de autobús, the bus stop. To buy a ticket, you might say, quiero un billete por favor. I want a ticket please. Or if you have to pay on board, cuánto cuesta? How much does it cost?
And the metro. That can be a lifesaver in bigger cities. What's crucial for the metro?
For the metro, it's el metro itself. You'll need la estación, the station, and la línea, the line, like line 1 or the blue line. Sometimes you'll hear el andén for the platform. So, ¿qué línea va a destination? Which line goes to destination? Or en qué andén tengo que esperar? On which platform do I have to wait?
Oh, línea and andén are super important. I've definitely been on the wrong platform a few times because I didn't know those words. It's a bit stressful when you're just trying to get across town.
Been there. And for taxis or ride shares, it's pretty straightforward. You just say el taxi, or you can hail one. To tell them where you want to go, you can say me puede llevar a address place. Can you take me to address place? And always good to ask, ¿cuánto cuesta el viaje? How much does the trip cost? Beforehand if you're concerned about pricing.
Those are solid. And what about just walking, like, I'm going to walk there? Is there a common phrase for that?
Yup, you can say voy a ir a pie. I'm going to go by foot, or voy a caminar. I'm going to walk. Simple and effective. And honestly, walking is often the best way to really soak in a city's atmosphere, especially if you're using your Spanish to interact along the way.
That's very true. It really helps you immerse yourself, which is what we always talk about with language learning, isn't it? Getting out there and actually using the language in real-world scenarios, even if it's imperfect.
Exactly. That's the core philosophy, right? Don't wait until you're perfect. Use what you have. A big part of learning Spanish effectively is just having the courage to try. You're going to make mistakes, and that's not just okay, it's actually crucial for improvement.
I think that's the hardest part for many, myself included sometimes. That fear of embarrassment, like you're asking for directions, you mess up a verb, and you just feel your face flush.
Oh, absolutely. I remember one time, I was in Seville, and I wanted to ask where the nearest farmacia was, and instead I accidentally asked for a fábrica, a factory. The person looked at me completely puzzled, and I was so flustered. But then I laughed, corrected myself, and they ended up giving me perfect directions. It became a funny story, not a failure.
That's a great anecdote, and it really highlights the point. Most native speakers are incredibly patient and even appreciative when you're trying. They see your effort, not your imperfections.
100%. Another practical tip, use gestures. Spanish speakers are often very expressive with their hands. If someone says a la derecha and points, mimic that motion. It reinforces what you're hearing and helps you remember.
That's smart. It's like a built-in learning aid, and I imagine having a small dictionary app on your phone could be helpful, but not to constantly rely on it, right?
Exactly. Think of it as a safety net, not a crutch. If you absolutely can't understand a key word, quickly look it up. But the goal is always to try to parse it out from context first. You'll be surprised how much you can understand even if you don't know every single word.
So, to recap, we start with politeness, disculpe or perdón, then donde está for where is, or cómo llego a for how do I get to. We need our directional vocabulary, todo recto, a la derecha, a la izquierda, en la esquina, cruzar la calle, and definitely some key landmarks like la iglesia, el parque, la plaza.
Spot on. And for transportation, remember el autobús and la parada, el metro and la estación or la línea, and for taxis, me puede llevar a, and cuánto cuesta. The most important thing is to just get out there and try. The more you put yourself in these situations, the less intimidating they become, and the faster you'll actually learn.
I think this gives a really solid framework for any beginner. It breaks down what feels like a giant scary task into manageable, actionable steps, and it really pushes that idea of immersion and just doing it, which is the best way to learn any language, honestly.
Couldn't agree more. So next time you're in a Spanish-speaking city, don't shy away from asking for directions. Embrace it as an adventure, a chance to connect, and a golden opportunity to level up your Spanish. You might even discover a hidden gem off the beaten path that Google Maps would never show you.
That's a fantastic note to end on. Thanks, Wesley, for breaking this all down. I feel a lot more confident already.
My pleasure, Emilio. And to all our listeners, get out there, explore, and speak Spanish. You've got this. Until the next time on Learn Spanish Like I Did.